Today, we are digging into one of the most powerful poems ever written. And what's amazing is that it wasn't composed in some grand cathedral, it was written in a prison cell by a man on death row. It gets right to the heart of how we find meaning when things look absolutely hopeless.
I mean, really think about that for a second. How do you find meaning when literally everything is taken from you? Your power, your good name, your freedom, and you know your life is about to end. Where do you even begin to look for answers? For the Roman statesman Boethius, the answer was philosophy.
Okay, so to really get what makes this prayer so incredible, we first have to understand the man himself and the absolute catastrophe that his life became. See, Boethius wasn't just some philosopher in an ivory tower. He was one of the most powerful and respected men in all of Rome.
And what's just wild is how fast it all came crashing down. I mean, look at this timeline. In 522, he has the top job in the government. The next year, he's watching his own sons become consuls. That's a huge family honor. And then bam, within a year, he's thrown in prison accused of treason against King Theodoric. By 525, he's dead. It was a stunning, brutal, and unbelievably quick fall from grace.
So what do you do in that situation? Stripped of everything, knowing death is coming for you. Boethius didn't spend his time writing desperate letters trying to prove his innocence. No, he turned inward. He started writing what would become his masterpiece, The Consolation of Philosophy. It's this incredible dialogue he has with a character, Lady Philosophy, where he's not trying to get out of his cell, he's trying to understand it all.
And right in the heart of that masterpiece, we find this short, beautiful poem. This is it. This is his solution. It's not a prayer begging for escape or revenge. It's a prayer for one thing: enlightenment.
Let's just take a moment and let the words sink in. O grant, Almighty Father, grant us on reason's wing to soar aloft, to heaven's exalted height. Grant us to see the fount of good. Grant us the true light found, to fix our steadfast eyes in vision clear on Thee. Disperse the heavy mists of earth, and shine in Thine own splendor. For Thou art the true serenity and perfect rest of every pious soul, to see Thy face, the end and the beginning, one, the guide, the traveler, the pathway, and the goal.
So, it's beautiful poetry for sure. But what does it all mean? Let's break down the philosophy packed into these lines. The central idea, the big one, is all about using our reason to fly up to a higher truth.
This very first line, this is everything. For Boethius, reason isn't just cold, hard logic. It's a divine gift. It's a spiritual tool. It's the wing that can actually lift our souls up and out of the messy, chaotic, painful world and help us soar towards divine understanding. It's a way out that's also a way in.
Boethius basically gives us a roadmap, a clear, four-step journey to get there. First, he asks for the tool, reason. Then, you use that reason to clear away all the confusion of the world, what he calls the mists. Once that fog lifts, you can finally see the true light of goodness and order. And the final step? You just hold your gaze there. You focus on it. That's where you find stability.
You see, for Boethius, it's like we're living in two realities at once. On one hand, you've got the heavy mists of earth. That's our everyday world of confusion, illusion, suffering, all the stuff driven by our fears and desires. But then there's the true light, this higher reality of pure clarity, perfect order, and goodness. His prayer is basically a plea to be able to see that second reality, even while he's physically trapped in the first. So where does this intellectual flight actually lead? What's the destination? Well, the goal isn't just about knowing stuff or being smart. It's about reaching a state of profound, unshakable inner peace. And this line right here, this is the payoff. This is the destination. True peace, Boethius is arguing, doesn't come from your problems going away. It comes from tuning your own mind to the unchanging, perfect order of the universe. He calls it a perfect rest for the soul. And you have to admit, that is a seriously radical idea. He's not praying for the guards to open the door. He's saying you can be physically locked in a cell, but spiritually completely free. The victory he's aiming for is 100% internal. It's the quiet stillness that comes from just getting it, from seeing the bigger picture beyond his own personal tragedy. He wraps it all up with this stunning, almost mystical insight. At the highest level of understanding, the divine or God isn't some separate thing way out there. It's everything. It's the guide leading us. It's the traveler on the journey, that's us. It's the very path we're walking on, and it's the destination we're trying to reach. It all becomes one. Now you might think that this incredible vision just died with Boethius in that prison cell, but nope, not even close. The work he wrote in those last, desperate months went on to have a colossal impact on the next 1,000 years of Western thought. He literally became a bridge between two different worlds.
And what does that mean, a bridge between worlds? Well, he took all these deep, philosophical ideas from the ancient Greeks, especially from Plato, and he wove them together with Christian theology in a way no one had before. His book, The Consolation of Philosophy, became a bestseller of the Middle Ages, almost single-handedly carrying those ancient ideas across the centuries into a new era.
And his influence was just enormous. He essentially handed medieval thinkers the toolbox for using reason to better understand God. That vision of unity we talked about, it inspired mystics for centuries. And maybe most importantly, his own story gave the world a timeless example of how to face the absolute worst with intellectual and spiritual courage.
And that, I think, is the final, powerful lesson here. Boethius's greatest gift to the world came directly out of his darkest hour. It's this incredible reminder that real wisdom, it isn't something you find when life is easy and comfortable, it's forged in the fire of adversity. So Boethius prayed to have the heavy mists of earth cleared away. For him, those mists were injustice, fear, betrayal, and his own impending death. And that kind of leaves us with a question for ourselves, doesn't it? In our own lives, surrounded by distraction, anxiety, and just noise, what are the mists that are clouding our vision? And how do we find our own way to that true light?